Very proud of Tulsa during last night's Raw. We want truth. Chanted throughout the show. Would I have loved it to have been louder? Absolutely. But legit, I wasn't expecting anything. You have to remember who's paying these ridiculous prices to show up to these mediocre events. Kids dragging their parents out so they can yeet for 20 minutes, sing along for 25 minutes, and scream, "This is awesome!" for every match for the entire show. Crowds today don't care about a good promo, a good storyline, or if anything even makes sense. They just want to participate. So I had no expectations for this crowd to stand up for R-Truth while simultaneously putting a middle finger up to Triple Snake and Gorilla. But they did good. But it's just a start. SmackDown is Truth's brand, so Friday night's crowd has to bring it. Remember, Truth is just the straw that broke the camel's back. We're standing up for something much more. We're losing the company we all once really loved to incompetent corporate greed, ruthless disloyalty, and a chief content officer that can't be bothered to put any effort into his own product. Truth didn't need to go. Noseman does. And we'll get into the Raw review in just a minute, but I also want to add, for anyone wondering why all the rage now that the company is kicking him to the curb, but when he was with the company, everyone just called him a jobber. That's the problem! That's the problem. You think we wanted to call R-Truth a jobber? Everyone loves R-Truth. Nobody wanted to call R-Truth a jobber. That's what they made him. That's why all the rage. Whether 53 or 63, Truth can rock out better than half that roster at any given time. Instead, the company gave him the dumb, goofball comedy character, and for years, Truth played the good soldier, waiting for his chance. And he finally got that chance on May 24th, SNME, against John Cena, and then simultaneously was told he's getting Das Boot from the company. Natalya told a heartbreaking story of bumping into Truth before the match and how excited Truth was for this opportunity. How excited R-Truth was that he was having this match with Cena on this type of stage. The dude had no idea he wasn't being re-signed. He had no idea what awaited him on the other side of that John Cena match. Zero transparency from Helmsley. It's filthy what this company does to their own talent. It is dirty, rotten, filthy what Hunter Hearst Helmsley does to this talent. No respect. It is pathetic. That's what we're standing up for, if anybody was wondering. Monday Night Raw, June the 2nd, 2025. Let's talk about it. Amplified style. Now, if you were hoping for this show to start off in a kick-ass way, some energy, a pulse to this show, you tuned into the wrong show. This show starts off with Michael Cole taking his shirt off. That's right, you heard that correctly. What, were you hoping for some pyro maybe? A badass storyline to begin backstage, maybe filter out through the arena? No, you do not get a hot start. You do not get a pulse or some energy or some pyro. You will get Michael Cole taking his shirt off. Because apparently there was a bet with Pat McAfee, and if the Pacers beat the Knicks, then Mike Cole has to wear a jersey for the rest of the So we spent 5 minutes with Michael Cole taking his shirt off and showcasing his jersey that he's going to be wearing for the rest of the night. And then Pat McAfee gets on the microphone or whatever, and he starts irritating the crowd because the Pacers are taking on Oklahoma in the finals. And I believe that was not Oklahoma City. Maybe that was Tulsa, correct? But still, Oklahoma. So he's irritating the crowd, and that's how he spent the first 5 minutes. And if you were wondering, well, hey, BC, at least we didn't get the stereotypical everybody showing up to work. Everybody showing up to the arena with their luggage and their coffees. No. Don't get it twisted. Just because I said we started with Michael Cole taking his shirt off does not mean you're not getting everybody showing up to work. Because you damn well better bet that's some good filler for Hunter Hearst Helmsley. That's filler. Of course we're going to waste time showing everybody show up to work. Why wouldn't we? You guys said it best last week. It's only a matter of time before we start ending the shows with everybody leaving the arena. Michael Cole taking his shirt off. That's how we, if that doesn't set the tone for the night, man. Back in the day, you had the glass shatter, and here comes Stone Cold. In 2025, it's Michael Cole taking his shirt off. And then CM Punk's music hits. Now, the last 2 weeks, Punk has been used in the last 10 seconds of the show. You have arguably the biggest star on that show, in terms of name value recognition and all that other jazz. That would be CM Punk. And you use him in the last 10 seconds, not just for 1 week, right? Maybe you just had some harebrained idea, and that's how you decided to use Punk. No, twice! There's no reason to believe we wouldn't have seen the same thing last night. Or Punk just going into his main event match, this triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier that he was in. But no, he's starting the show this week. And if you're wondering why, I think you know exactly why. To make sure you had no R-Truth chance from the jump. Send out CM Punk because you know the crowd is going to chant CM Punk. Because every crowd loves to chant CM Punk. So if you want to chant R-Truth, you have a decision to make. Punk is right there in front of you. Don't you want to chant for him? Now, they chanted for R-Truth the entire night. At the end of this night, and I'll go back to this opening segment, but at the end of the night, when the show went off the air and the faces were all celebrating in the ring, the crowd chanted heavily, "We want truth," and CM Punk actually acknowledged it. CM Punk made a little bit of a joke because it's something that he himself dealt with for 10 years, chanting his name when he was not in that company, he was not in that ring. So Punk looked at the crowd and he said, "Let the record show that it was I that said, 'How dare you chant for somebody that's not even here tonight?'" Again, a joke because that's what we did for 10 years. No, we, BC excluded. But a lot of fans were showing up to these arenas for 10 years chanting for CM Punk. So he acknowledged that everybody's chanting for a dude that's not even there, R-Truth. I thought that was pretty cool. It's the only wrestler that I know of that actually acknowledged those chants last night, but that was off air. Shout out also, though, to Dominic Mysterio in his segment backstage last night. He was wearing our Carlito shirt, and he made sure that the flannel over it was open enough so you can see the words. That's not cool. Not cool. You know, message over to Hunter Hearst Helmsley, just like Rhea Ripley in a lot of photos sporting that R-Truth shirt last night. I don't know what's going on with Miz deleting all mentions of WWE. Gunther just did that recently as well. A lot of wrestlers, man. We're starting to see that it's not just fans that have had enough with Hunter Helmsley and his bullshit. Talent has had enough of him feeding them bullshit. And then the second they turn around, stabs him right in the back or hits him up the side the dome piece with his golden shovel. They're done with it. Pretty fucking cool that a lot of talents are following the LA Knight approach. Speak your mind, dude. Who gives a shit? This dude plays God, but he's not. Anyway, shout out to Punk for acknowledging that at the end of the show. But for this opening, this was CM Punk claiming that he no longer is just happy to be here. It's time that he becomes world champion one more time. And BC was like, "You think? Do you think? Seriously, you think? They have this dude the last several weeks coming out in the last 10 seconds of the show like he's not even a part of the roster or just some spoke on the wheel, some jabroni. He's arguably your biggest star on the brand. You choose Jason Uso. Jason Uso over CM Punk for the Royal Rumble. Jason Uso's winning a world title at WrestleMania while CM Punk has an asterisk main event for WrestleMania. A massive asterisk. A triple threat with Rollins and Roman Reigns. I'm sorry, what? What? That makes zero sense. What's on the line? Why is it a triple threat match? Because Roman got upset CM Punk threw him over the top rope in the Rumble Beastly. Oh! Okay! So now we gotta yeet for 20 minutes every freaking show because CM Punk is at catering to the last 10 seconds of every show. He can't be... Why would you book CM Punk to look, feel, be the superstar that he is? Or should be? I'm not the biggest CM Punk fan, anybody will tell you, but damn, I know you gotta utilize him better than this. He can't just play around with Seth Rollins for the next 6 months. He's finally done happy to be here. Now he wants a championship. Well, that's nice to hear. The title is on Jey Uso, so we can yeet for 20 minutes every Monday. Meanwhile, CM Punk, the last several weeks, has received as much airtime as they've given R-Truth. Sami Zayn then comes out and gives some corny speech as he always does. We need you to win tonight. We need you to win that qualifier. And then he says, but if you do win that title, Punk, I'm coming for it. Or some stupid shit. What the fuck? So CM Punk says, I look forward to it, Sammy. And he extends his hand and they show mutual respect with a handshake. And no joke, if you go back and watch this segment, the crowd was like, that's it? The crowd didn't know what to do. You have CM Punk in front of you. CM Punk is in front of you. I'll say it for a third time already in this review. Arguably the biggest star on that brand. And when his music played, nobody gave a damn. Nobody made any noise. Because they were like, what did we just watch for 10 minutes? Who cares about Sami Zayn? Ain't nobody. He's a mid-carder. Dude looks like he just left his job at Lowe's or Home Depot. And he just made it in time, right? We picked him up entering the arena, because that's how we like to start the show. There's Sami Zayn. He got to the arena on time, guys. Home Depot let him go 10 minutes early. His day job. Sami Zayn, what emotion does Sami Zayn draw out of you? Sami Zayn comes through the curtain, he comes down the aisle. Are you truly geeking out? Is your jaw dropped? Are you getting a Stone Cold reaction? Maybe Hogan, maybe John Cena, maybe Roman Reigns, maybe Cody Rhodes. Oh! What are you... Samuel Zayn. The last time he was semi-interesting to BC, it was a couple of years ago when he was doing that whole Bloodline skit. Semi-interesting. If you were going to make him a main eventer or make us believe that he's a main eventer, that would have been the time. I think he did have a match with like Roman. I think that was over in Canada, correct? Maybe it was the Chamber before Mania, something like that, and he didn't win the title, and that's fine, but you have to keep up that momentum. I mean, it was crushed after that. And ever since, I don't know what he's been doing. Recently, he had his 846th match with Kevin Owens. And every week on Raw, it just feels like he's playing the daddy role. He's always giving Seth Rollins friendship speeches. You're better than that, Seth. You're better than that. CM Punk, you have to win the title. You have to do it. Jay, you know what you have to do for the legacy. Jey Uso, you know what you have to do. Stop, man. It's so... Every time I see Sami Zayn, I want to flip the channel to anything, man. Literally anything. I'll watch the Cooking Network. I'll watch How to Make a Caesar Salad for 30 minutes. I don't even It doesn't matter I just want to flick it to it because I don't want to see Sami Zayn in anything. And he's starting, and I know what you guys, but you see, I like Sami though. I like Sami too. This is pro wrestling. We have to feel something. There has to be an emotion being drawn out of us. These characters have to do that. We talk R-Truth all the time on a shitty 2.5 or 3 hour show. R-Truth usually is the only one to give you something, a laugh even. At least he gives us a laugh. I don't know what Sami gives us. A headache? The first 20 minutes of the show, man, we get Michael Cole taking his shirt off, Pat McAfee talking about the NBA Finals. That's great for Oklahoma. I don't know what that's doing for the rest of us. And then we go into CM Punk a face, having a promo with Sami Zayn a face. And if you're wondering, no, it led to nothing because Punk didn't even win the qualifier later in the night in the main event. So this was literally for nothing. It's for nothing. I love how there's a report from, I believe it's David Meltzer out there in the world, right? You guys can find that any which where, but I think it's David Meltzer, and there's this report about the differences between Vince McMahon booking and Hunter Hearst Helmsley booking, and how Vince McMahon, his big thing was never waste TV time. If you got a match plan, which you should already have, then you start building toward it and book for it. Whereas Hunter Helmsley, he just puts a bunch of shit out there. And he's like, I want to confuse everybody. I want people to think, hey, it could go this way, it could go that way. Hey, if that's fun, cool, have at it. It's not. It's just confusing. It just leads to nothing. It just wastes time. Happened before Mania when CM Punk, a face, yet again, Punk was involved, with Cody Rhodes, a face. You guys remember they had that awesome promo, and I'm like, hey, I don't like face versus face matches, but if you're gonna do it, and if Cody's losing the title anyway, CM Punk has to pick up the title at Mania, obviously. Okay, that promo was pretty good. This could be a good story. That was 1 week. They never went back to it. They never did. CM Punk ended up going some weird triple threat with Seth Rollins and Roman Reigns. Nothing on the line, no reasoning. They had to come up with some stupid shit. Roman's upset with you. You threw him over the top rope in the Rumble. Oh, we have to have a triple threat main event now. That's what Punk ended up doing. Cody ended up going in some weird thing with Cena. Cena turned heel. We thought, hey, this could be something cool. Immediately after, it fell flat on its face. And Cena takes the title from Cody in the most uninteresting, unmemorable fashion imaginable. You could have just went with Cody and Punk if you were going to do a whole bunch of stupid shit post. Yeah, I just, that article was so, I had to laugh. The difference between Vince and Helmsley is Vince's theory is never waste TV time. Hunter's theory is waste TV time always. And that's what we did. We wasted TV time. The whole first part of the show, Sami Zayn and CM Punk, as if anybody needs to see that match. I can't wait to see face versus face, Punk and Sami. Oh, can you tell how irritated I was watching it? And then when the music hit and I realized, wait, there's literally nothing. There's nothing. They're playing the music. I think that's the end of the segment. That they literally just used filler for the first 25. What the shit? That's what we got, guys. God, that's what we got. I wish I could tell you I'm leaving something out, or I had to change the channel, or I had to get up and pick up a bad habit, or throw myself in the traffic so I missed something. I can't tell you that. Then we went into the first matchup of the night. This is Stephanie V versus Ivy Nile versus Liv Morgan. This was a triple threat Money in the Bank qualifier for the ladies. Michael Cole says this is the first time ever these three women have been involved in a triple threat with one another. Can I have to say that one more time in case you missed it? Michael Cole said this is the first time ever these three women have ever been involved in a triple threat with one another. Really, Michael Cole? Do you think? How sad is that? We see so many triple threats and fatal four-ways these days that Cole already assumes we're seeing rematches. Triple threat and fatal four rematches. That's how this has become the norm. That now we have to be told that this is the first time these three ladies have been in a triple threat. I would hope so. We can't be tossing around triple threats like it's Halloween candy. But in Paul Levesque McMahon's WWE, this is the new norm. We're probably not that far off, to be honest, from seeing rematches of triple threats and fatal fours. I mean, how sad is it? But it's not even for a laugh. We're probably not that far off. Stephanie pins Ivy Nile via pinfall to advance to this ladder match Saturday night. I'm good. I'm good with sending Steph to the moon. Big piece of the rocket, put the whole thing on her. That's cool. I'm good. Stephanie is so good, beautiful, total package. You know, she works on that English barrier, and that's going to be a whole nother level of success waiting for her. I'm telling you, she's got it all. So I'm totally fine with Stephanie winning this match. I don't know what they have planned for her. Do they actually give her the briefcase? I don't know about that. But I'm fine with this. The one thing I had an issue with from the jump is JC Jane. They rushed Stephanie into a title match because they rushed her to the main roster because they needed to rush her into the Money in the Bank match. This is what I mean. Nothing is planned out in this company. Everything happens on a whim. There's no transparency. There's no respect. They make spur-of-the-moment decisions, and they don't care how that affects anybody. So anyway, Stephanie is rushed into this matchup against JC Jane and Stephanie has beaten the Jordan Graces and the Julias and the Roxys and all of them, but JC Jane beats Stephanie V. Are you kidding? JC Jane! You couldn't have came up with a better way to get this gal to the main roster. Backstage interviews with Rusev, Crush, and Sheamus fella. Michael Cole says, wow, I pay to see that match. You already did, Cole. Do you have Netflix, Cole, or Peacock? Because you can go back and watch all 97 matches that Rusev and Sheamus have already had. Michael, you've paid for the same match 12 times a year, basically, that they were in the company together. Stop it. Again, I understand it's their job to sell matchups and whatnot. They barely do that these days, but it's their job to do such. But you can't totally fabricate to the point of not realistic anymore. It's no longer believable. It's like when they called Tiffany Stratton and Nia Jax from a few weeks ago and Tessa Torres said, a classic, Wade! We just witnessed a classic! Yes, Ricky Steamboat and Savage, Shawn Michaels Undertaker, Tiffany Stratton, Nia Jax. One of these don't belong. You ever see those meet? One of these don't belong. Yeah, I'm going to take Tiffany and Nia doesn't belong for 1,000, Alex. Michael Cole, he's going to pay a lot of money to see Rusev and Sheamus. I don't even mind this, to be honest with you. I mean, Rusev, how bad is it that, you know what, you can recycle a match I've seen 96, 97 times in the past for many years, recycle it because there's nothing else going on. I'd rather see that than anything that Seth Rollins' goofy group is involved in. Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed. Either they're running away or they're completely destroying somebody. 50-50 booked group. I was hoping there was some potential when I saw this group form, and I was quickly hit with the realization they got nothing. WWE doesn't know how to do factions these days. Viking Experience versus Balor and McDonald's. I refuse to call it Judgment Day because unfortunately the Judgment Day is done. Judgment Day is done. The variation or anything that made it special is done. Even the backstage comedy Not saying it was always funny, but, I mean, Carlito would have been hit. Carlito's gone. They're recycling the storyline they did with Liv Morgan and Rhea Ripley. They're just inserting Roxy. It looks like they might turn Liv Morgan and Dominic Mysterio face because the crowd likes them. No, it's your job to make him even more of a heel now. Liv Morgan is a damn good heel. Dominic Mysterio is a natural-born heel. Cut the shit with this face turn bull. And I don't know what they're doing with Roxy, man. They're trying to make her a little AJ Lee with Finn Balor, I guess. I don't know. It's not the Judgment Day to me anymore. To BC, the best days for the Judgment Day are in the past. Whether that's fortunately or unfortunately, that's in the eye of the beholder. But for BC, this was the Viking experience. Much love over to Sarah Logan, by the way. She just announced that she has also been informed by the company she is not being re-signed. So, R-Truth, Carlito, Sarah Logan, you gotta believe there's a lot more we're gonna be finding out in the next several days because that's how they do things, in droves, in rounds. But I guess Sarah was about to come back. It was imminent. She was waiting on the call to get the dates ready, and instead she got the wrong call, and that was the one saying, "You got das Boot." Viking experience, Balor and McDonald's. New Day was at ringside, but referee Jessica Carr said, "You, Kofi, and you, Xavier, you're out of here." You know, the whole wind up. And she gave Das Boot to the New Day. So, Roxy. The aforementioned Roxy causes a distraction, allows Balor to hit coup de grace for the pinfall. So now we get heels. Balor and McDonald's versus heels. Champions Xavier and Kofi, the New Day. Heels versus heels for the title. Yeah, so much for the crowd to cheer about and cheer for. Heels versus heels. The show is starting off with Sami and Punk face versus face. In a match that never even ended up being anything because Punk lost, so we got face versus face promo just for nothing. This is the most ass-backwards booking I've ever seen. I've viewed decades of pro wrestling in so many companies. You have no idea, man. From yes, the WWF old days, the WCW days, and I'm talking before Nitro. From the ECW days to local independents and even bingo halls. I've seen decades of wrestling. I have never seen such bad trash booking like I see under Hunter Hearst Helmsley. It's actually wild that somebody can be so bad at their job. Becky Lynch, Lyra Valkyria. Helmsley just had these gals do the same segment they did last week. I'm not even joking. This was just a back and forth promo between the two gals. The same exact thing you saw last week and you've been seeing for 2 months. The only difference was, unlike last week, this week they brawled for a few seconds. The old school Helmsley brawl. But if you were looking for creativity, if you think, hey, there is some spark left with Becky and Val, because that's how I feel. I feel you could actually do a lot with these two ladies. But when the company doesn't care, when Helmsley doesn't want to put an ounce of effort into this, you just end up getting a recycled segment like you got last week. Jason Uso is next. 10 minutes of yeeting. Sami Zayn was with him bouncing around like a cornball. They're facing Braun Breaker and Bronson Reed, or as Michael Cole calls them, Bronzilla and the Unpredictable Badass. Bronzilla and Unpredictable Badass. And you want me to take them seriously? How about Clownzilla and Unpredictable Shithead? There, fixed it. Rollins interferes. W goes to Uso and Zayn via DQ. Punk for the save and the heels run away. And that's the problem. 3 top faces on Raw. Jason Uso, Samuel Zayn, CM Punk. 3 top faces, but only one actually is a top face. Again, Samuel Zayn is a mid-carder at best. Sorry, not sorry to break the news to you. And Jason Uso, you can give him all the titles in the world. Hunter can say we're putting all the rockets in the world on your back. Jason Uso is just a tag team guy with one word, 4 letters, yeet. Vaquer Rodriguez versus Kairi Sane. We want truth. That was the loudest that I heard it through the show. Again, it was throughout the show, even before and after the show. But that was the loudest where I really was like, I think I was like writing some notes for this upload, for this review. And I looked up because I was like, whoa. And the second they got loud, you guys heard, you saw, right? The commentary team went off. They went to another level to try to drown out the chants. So you know Helmsley was freaking out in Gorilla. And he gave word, but I think that was already talked about beforehand. If they start getting loud, I'm going to give you a code over the headset, and you guys just get a little bit loud. And that's what they did. Because this was a much respect over to Kairi Sane, obviously, and Raquel Rodriguez. It wasn't even a bad match. But, I mean, the crowd wasn't that into I mean, the commentary wasn't that into it. The crowd wasn't that into it. Slow pacing. And when the chant really picked up and you could start to hear it, all of a sudden, the commentary team was acting like Joe Tessitore watching a Nia Jax match. It's a classic! A classic! I'm like, oh, they were ready for that, man. We were hearing, too, that they were ready, that they had piped in noise ready to go if they felt they needed to use it. We don't have confirmation that they used it last night. I'm guessing they did. But I'm hearing there were several plans in place if the crowd got too carried away with the R-Truth chants. But this was the loudest, and they made sure commentary upped their volume. You guys could check that out, too, if you ever have the time, man. It's very interesting. I think it's more toward the end of the match. You'll start to hear the chants, and then commentary just starts getting really loud. Then we go into the main event, men's Money in the Bank qualifier. Grande Americano defeats CM Punk and AJ Styles. The Lucha Latte pins AJ Styles. AJ Styles, what happened to that guy? He's getting beat by a latte now. And then a circus breaks out at the end of this show. Uso's out there. Sami Zayn's out there. Those two were all over the show last night. Sami Zayn and Jason Uso. Sami Zayn, this mid-carder, and Jey Uso, this tag team guy, all over the show last night. I understand gone are the days of the Hulk Hogan Ultimate Warrior twosome. I understand gone are the days of Austin and Rock or Undertaker. I understand gone are the days of even Roman Reigns and John Cena, right? One of them's totally part-time now, and the other is out of time. This year is it for John Cena. I understand. But how did we go from all of those to Jason Uso and Sami Zayn? Wow, did we see way too much of them last night? Listen, that's cool, man. Props to them if they're getting that much airtime. What we ask for is that it's fun. What they're doing on air is fun and it's captivating. And it leaves us wanting more. I had enough of Sami Zayn in the first segment. I wanted to put myself to a brick wall by the end of the show. And then, of course, you had Seth Rollins was out there, Braun Breaker, Bronson Reed. Everybody was out there. It was just one big schmaz to end the show. And the heels end up celebrating to the hard cam. Wow, haven't seen that before within the last 2 months. What an original finish. Said no pro wrestling fan ever. And that is your Raw 6/2/25 Amplified review. Guys, thank you for an incredible last couple of days, especially on the channel, especially with all of this R-Truth coverage that BC's been pumping out on the channel. And the response has been, well, amplified. And that shows you, right? That's just a microcosm of what BC calls the megacosm. You know, fans have had enough, and it's really cool, man. This is one of those rare moments where the whole community is like, nah, brah, that ain't cool. So we got to keep up that energy. And at the very least, at least we all now see much clearer how this company is ran these days. And it's pretty cool to know that most of us are not okay with it. Until next time, and there will be that next time. 44 dive, that's a wrap. BC in the unit, we're saying check you. Salud!